This is the most shocking, intriguing, gruesome, and when I say gruesome, I mean gruesome, sports story. I'm not talking about somebody having a heart attack on the court and then dying and that be it. No, that is sad. That's tragic. It's like crazy, wild, like only gonna happen once every blue moon kind of thing. This is something that we may never see again. Like, this is the most gruesome shit, and I have to talk about it. I think we're going to start every Monday episode now with an update on Winning Time, because it's jaw-dropping. It's a wild ride on TV. Of course, not all of it's true. And of course, things are going to be critiqued and fact-checked. I've fact-checked everything for you. You don't need to go into Vulture and Variety and everything. I've fact-checked it all. But I had no idea about this. And I don't think hoopheads knew about this either. I'm talking about Jerry Tarkanian possibly becoming the next head coach of the Lakers in the middle of fucking Showtime. I'm talking about what? I'm talking about some murder right now. Yes, I am. If you're too young to know about Tark, rest in peace to Tark. Hall of Famer. Known for famously paying players before it was in vogue to pay players. Like, he paid a lot of guys, got a lot of recruits to not go to UCLA and to not go to USC, to go no to the running Rebels down in Las Vegas. And he raged through. He ran the rest of college hoops ragged. But the thing that people don't really remember is that Tark was the lead candidate to take over the LA Lakers. Not just the lead candidate, he basically had the job. He basically was offered the job by Dr. Jerry Buss to the tune of 10x what he was getting paid in college, and he had no real interest in leaving the running Rebels to coach in the NBA game. But he was ready to do it. He was ready to take the gig until something really, really bad happened. And this was the prominent storyline in episode 3 of Winning Time. Here is the background. Jerry West decides he's going to quit coaching the Lakers because he doesn't think he's any good at it. This is what's going on in Winning Time. I'm not exactly sure why his motives truly were the case why he left, but that's what is happening in Winning Time. He quits, and they need to find a new coach. And they're kind of like all scrambling to find somebody. Buss wants Tark. Buss thinks that's a perfect coach to run the Showtime Lakers. And he was. He was. His style of play would have been perfect for them. So he's like, I want to go and hire him. He recruits them, figures out who his people are in order to get to him. And the person that was running the show for Tark was his childhood friend and mentor, Victor Weiss, who was also operating sort of as his pseudo-agent. And to say that this guy, Victor Weiss, was involved with the wrong kind of people is an understatement, folks. He was affiliated and had some gambling debts, apparently, and some lots of ties to some people who may or may not have wanted Tark to leave UNLV. Weiss encouraged Tark to take 10 times what he was making at UNLV, and a deal was struck between Weiss and Dr. Jerry Buss at a prominent Beverly Hills hotel to make Tark the next coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. But Tark never heard back from Weiss. Never had the chance to look over the contract and accept the job. And the deal never got done. Why did the deal never get done? Because Vic Weiss went missing right after that meeting. Was supposed to go and meet his wife for dinner, never saw her again, never had the chance to even call Tark to tell him about the contract again. Went completely MIA and was found in the trunk of his Rolls Royce later with a couple of bullets in his face. Through the back of his head, through the face. Never had the chance to make this deal come through. It was violent, it was bloody, it was bad. Really bad. The murder hasn't even been solved. Nobody was arrested for this. LA Times reported, this is just the craziest story I've ever heard in my life. I swear to God, in sports, like, there is nothing that will top this. Missing for 3 days on June 17th, 1979. Vic's Rolls Royce was spotted in the garage of a North Hollywood hotel. Police opened the trunk and there was a body of Victor J. Weiss, hands tied behind his back. He had been killed with 2 gunshots to the back of the head through the face. Winning time implies the hit was carried out to keep Tark at UNLV. Like, this is real life. Like, step back. This is not a story. This is not a little, like, this is real life. All of Weiss's jewelry on him. All of his money, $38,000 in his pockets. The only thing that was missing was the briefcase that had the contract for Tark to go to the Lakers inside. Detective Leroy Orozco, the original investigator still assigned to the killing, says that after 21 years as a homicide detective, the Weiss case still tantalizes him most. He has followed leads across the country, never made one arrest. He has carefully investigated and traced potential suspects, only to learn that apparently by grim coincidence, they too have been killed. Folks, do me a favor. Try your very best to wrap your mind around this, because I can't. This is the most decorated #1 coach in college basketball, up for the #1 coaching job in the NBA with Kareem and Magic and all the rest. He gets the job. He accepts that job. And then his best friend is murdered, so he feels compelled to turn that job down and say, whoa, I'm good. Because his best friend that negotiated the deal turns up missing, dead, in the trunk of his Rolls Royce car with bullets in his brain. And the contract is missing. And I didn't know about that until yesterday. Imagine that happening right now in the social media era. We would be losing our shit. Like, where did mobs go? Where did they go? Why aren't they mobbing anymore? Why aren't they? I don't know. This world could not handle it. My little heart can't even handle knowing this news. I still can't believe if Jerry Tarkanian was alive right now, I would find a way to, like, hey, I need to know. Like, I literally called the one person I know who ever played for UNLV as soon as this story was up. I was like, yo, did you play for Tark? Because I need to know what was up with that. And he's like, nope, played for the guy after him. I am not a huge history buff, but I tell you what, I went down the rabbit hole on this. Yes, I did. And the fact is, Jerry Tarkanian, yes, in fact, was offered the job. Yes, in fact, returned to UNLV and dominated college hoops at a time when organized crime was very prevalent in Las Vegas until 1992, before winning a chip and finally going to the NBA to the San Antonio Spurs. Yes, he did the most least Jerry Tarkanian spot that you could find until he was fired after 20 games. And all I could think about after that was, besides the killing and shit, and the conspiracy and all of that, but, like, what would Tark have done with that Lakers team? What would they have become? How dominant would they have been? What would have happened to Pat Riley? Would Pat Riley have been a commentator? Or would he have been what he became? How does that change the legacy of the folks like Jerry West? How does that change the college basketball landscape of USC and UCLA and UNLV? Where does Larry Johnson go, if not to UNLV to play for Tark? So much my brain can't really process right now, but here you have it. You don't even need to watch the show. No, but you should watch it. Definitely watch it, but that shit is insane.